Hello, BC versus Ark. A little bit late today because my PC decided it didn't want to start itself with the stream, but we're here. We're good to go. Um, we're only 8 minutes late into this one, which is not too bad. It could have been much worse. Let's take a look at the map. Let's take a quick look at the game. We're on the BC side, who did manage to cap mid at the start with Dugout Barn. I don't think that's too much of a surprise for this particular point, though. I think they've got a lovely spread across the map already as well. But Dugout into Eastern, that's going to be a bit of a grind. We've got Flak Battery behind Dugout as well. No Garrison up yet from BC. They've actually been waiting just a little bit now. They capped it just a couple of minutes ago, and nothing up just yet. This is certainly going to be quite the grind here for BC to get through to Eastern, but I think crucially they've actually managed to capture just in the center of our screen here, where we can see Potter, Zippo and Ollie. She managed to capture this little compound here, which is huge for them on the opening, with an outpost up as well, and Hell Squad's even managed to progress themselves a little distance up the railway track as well. Wouldn't fancy being Heber right now, I'll be honest with you. That doesn't look like a fun time, but he's going to try and make his way up that railway track and get across. He looks like he's making some decent progress so far already as well. Arklow, they are setting themselves up decently. They've got a decent spread. They've got some width going. They're corralling BC into smaller areas, which is nice. Should be able to get some artillery drop in to try and just get that map control up. Of course, they could always choose to just drop the artillery where we were just looking at. I think they indeed are, just to basically stop any sort of frontal assault. I think that's a waste of artillery here, though, to be honest with you. If they're dropping it towards Zippo and Ollie and Magua here, I don't think that's the best use. You can keep them at bay there with MGs and tanks, etc, etc. I'd be much more interested in dropping it out on the wide flanks to try and gain yourself some ground and a little bit of map control. But we're certainly going to be looking across a long section of this map today. We can see our squad all the way out in C5. We'll take a quick peek out, see if he's having a fight against anyone from Ark at this point of the game. He looks like Domingo's out here. Where have we got our squad? He's right below us, so no one as wide as he is, but Domingo certainly could be the one who's going to catch him. And we'll take a quick flight back across this front line as well. Domingo coming out of Alvar's outpost there, I would imagine. And he's got himself a decent little angle, able to pin back players like Big Matt and like Lucas as well into Southern Edge. But I think BC will be quite happy with the way that they've got themselves set up here. They've got the room to maneuver around to try and break that wider front line if they so desire. But they've also got a really nice sort of grindy setup prepared just to be able to get themselves into these. The fact that they've actually managed to push into this little wooded area here, Chartreux, Zippo, the fact they've managed to break out of that trench line even at all is huge, really. PKKA here defending this front line for Ark, it seems like. They're not particularly interested in running. I don't blame them at all here, but Zippo lying in wait. He goes down to a little bit of artillery just behind, though. Shinali perhaps be a little bit nervous by that artillery dropping so close. Try and get some grenades into that trench line to wipe the outpost would be huge for them. Take a quick look at the map again. I'm interested in seeing what the tanks are up to. They did dive one tank all the way through this line into the backfield. Look at this. Our squad managed to make it all the way around the back. Got themselves up a huge garrison here. Executioner spawn. Poilo Barn, Great Gaithis, and Nazbrock are now all in behind the lines, and that's going to give them incredible pressure onto Eastern as well. Cleverly, they've not just all ran straight for it, they have gone for the outside as they look to try and get through whatever this point is, can't remember. What is this point called? I forget. But they're going to look to try and get a little bit of width, and I think that's important. They'll be able to really make it through and just crush this sort of F7 area and give themselves all of that map control. Right now, they look fantastic in terms of how their deep The deep defensive area is totally covered, and they've got the width if they need it. They are going to be able to push back inwards and now they've got this deep offensive set as well. And the only thing they really need to do, actually, they've even got control of the front, sort of front three, I suppose, of this area, of the crucial space to try and control. They've got decent control of that with 2 out of 3 of them. To give themselves those alternate angles in. Eastern, though, is not a fun place to push, even if you've got it totally surrounded. It is just open fields. You're going to need your armor to really capitalize on a lot of this. Let's take a look. As I said, it looks like they did have a tank up in H5. That's gone down now, though. They've got the flanking recon tank coming. Is that do they have the Tiger coming? Looks like they've got a Tiger en route. That's going to be the first Tiger. It's a little bit late, I think, in my opinion. Eventually could have valued it a little bit more than which they did. Take a look down here. Looks like they did have a 76, but it's gone down already. The tank mark on top of it. So that's an early 76 death, potentially to the AT gun actually, which they've got just up ahead here. Could have been the one that goes down. These guys here are going to make absolutely 0 progress. You want as few players down here as possible. Look at that. AT gun there just got splashed a little bit. Been taken out. I didn't see where the tank was actually that splashed it. Could have actually been another AT gun splashing it and taking it down. I'm amazed by how far Executioner has made it here without having anyone contest him. I mean, where's the arc deep defensive garrisons? Where's anything really? I mean, Pocket 120 over there maybe. It's a rough idea of the fact that Execution is on his way, but as of right now, doesn't look like they do. I'm baffled by whatever this guy's doing. What are you up to, man? Just crawling. And he's gonna get caught by Executioner, I would imagine, although Executioner might not even look this direction. Yeah, nope. Got his binos out. If he just looks a little bit down, come on, buddy. Surely you'll see Pocket. Surely at this stage you'll see him. Hello? Anyone know what he's doing? Is he building? Is he building an AT gun here? All the way. Got his supplies there already. There you go. Executioner finally takes him down. Jesus Christ. That was a bizarre little fight. Do you have a tank just down here? Is that the medium Sherman? He's still alive, actually, in the point, which is good fighting from them to still be up. But, I mean, the AT guns from BC at the moment causing a little bit of havoc. Able to splash all the way back into this forest we just saw, which is not going to be good fun for them. Artillery is shredding between the points, so it's to be expected. Obviously, we've got the rules of 1 unkillable artillery. It's not unusual for them to get a lot of kills, particularly between Eastern and Dugout. We know we've seen high kill gains here. If this game goes 90 minutes, it wouldn't be a surprise to see them rack up, you know, 200-300 kills within this game. But right now, it looks like actually BC, they were making a little bit of progress up there. Claude and MDA from 7 and BWR are still up though and are going to keep them back. But right now, PKK are getting boxed in a little bit. They've got to try and get themselves up a deep defensive attack going, just for a bit of width. But the radar coverage here from BC, absolutely fantastic. Really, really good from them. They're even sat. Are they sat at max garrisons here? 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, they're sat at max garrisons 8. Potentially the next one we might see go down will be the one by Flak Battery. You get a lot of warning on Dugout. I don't see them ever losing this point. It'd be an absolute catastrophe if they did. Just need sort of one person in the back lines looking out for airheads. Maybe even a recon tank. I could see recon tanks being put to good use on this map as sort of deep defensive tanks, just covering those airheads off if possible. We've got the world's worst outpost up here. I mean, look, it is well progressed. It wouldn't surprise me the way this game is going if they actually make it across and they get here and Heber actually manages to get through. Jim Edward goes down. Artillery dropping just ahead of Heber, actually going to keep him up, and he does make it. But then he goes down to his own friendly artillery regardless. Let's take the AT gun, which is good use of the artillery, just to help keep their tanks alive. He was about to meet The front end of Sherman 75, though, I don't think either would have lasted too much longer, even taking out the outpost. But big push across. I don't think at this stage they know at all where this 75 is, or I don't think they'll be pushing. But he's actually just shuffled out the wrong way at the wrong time. Meat goes down though at 0. Jim Edward goes down, but Stefro's managed to get himself into a dangerous spot here. And actually the front door push is working. Where's the artillery? Drop it back now. Take down Chartreux and Potter and LT-88. Absolutely. None of these guys should be up here. Flare goes up from XCBS. Will that alert them as to the danger, though? He goes down to an MG there. And right now, they just do not have a lot on this front line. Having to rely, I think, a little bit on this tank, causing a bit of a scare. Chartreux, is he going to dive? I think he's going to dive in. A little bit of a crawl in action going from Chartreux. That's bandaging up, but he's still up. May even be able to come wipe out any outposts they've got up here. The artillery now dropping in a good location. Right in the path of Zippo. Zippo should go down any moment now. There you go. Chartreux, he's got himself into a decent spot. Should be able to pick off Shinali. I mean, he doesn't. Epic. He takes him down. Got Chartreux. Ebert got himself across that field. Goes down early though. And Klaus is up next. Let's do a quick pan across this front line just to see where we're at. We've got a lot of players in open fields here. A lot of players in places they really don't want to be. But actually, this is massive. Look at the open space here. BC need to come exploit. They really need to come exploit. There is not a lot here. PWR just spawned in on the garrison, but they're not defending this at all, this area. No outposts that I can see to defend this garrison, which is actually just in the center of our screen here if we zoom in. BC Red and Lucas as well, playing a fairly cautious game, but they're making so much ground up despite that caution. You can see now looking at that garrison, maybe he's just going to wait for the spawn wave. Red and Lucas. Oh, Lucas decides not to dive. I think I'm going to get the outpost up. Red should be able to get this garrison down here. He does so. Look at the space this has opened up for them. They are now going to have ways through this tree avenue here, which is going to be massive for them, I think, in this game. This early on, being able to get through there already is crazy stuff. Let's take a quick look at the map, though. It looks like the deep defensive garrison's gone down. They've got their recon well progressed already. Big Matt's making his way through as well. They're even taking a flanking medium tank as well. But let's go take a quick look at the deep defensive line for these guys here. Got a lot of players up now. This is nice. I think this is where a lot of those frontline players just went. Domingo's in the back line now, as well as Mr. Gora and Monasterio, Beavers, Von Raal, and Eula, as well as Alvar. They have a tank forward as well. I think that tank might have gone down. I think I saw an explosion here. Could have just been a little Stuart boy. Looks like it was just a little Stuart boy roaming about. Gets taken out. But they've got some good ground up here, and this is going to give BC just something to think about. You can see that they're now having to commit more players to their backline, which I don't think they really wanted to do. And now even Roger Squad there, Nasbrook goes down as well as they commit a few players in to this zone. Manus and Loon, the one attempting to take this down. Maybe they could commit a few more into this zone. I'm not too sure. Maybe they don't think it's going to be fruitful just yet. Back to the front line, though, is still artillery hell for Chartreux. I wish I had the stats today. I don't actually have don't have the Archon link, which is such a shame, because I would love to see the amount of deaths these frontline players are just going to get to artillery. It is going to be crazy, the amount that they see. But looks like BC, they're going to commit some more players into this frontline area. I don't know if I like it. I think they've got good control over on this side of the map. I'd like to see them fill this squad up, actually. Get players into Lucas, because they're about to get maybe... Oh, no, they're not going to get... I thought they were going to get reflanked there. But it looks like Big Matt's probably got that covered and got players over looking for him, just in the right zone. Recon plane coming over the top. Let's see what knowledge they get out of this. Roger Squad's outpost just goes down in the backfield as well. I just remembered I'm not a squad leader in this, am I? So I'm not going to see what knowledge they get unless the commander marks it for us, which he doesn't. So clearly not too much. Guys here slowly crawling their way through, slowly making it. Uncle Mammoth goes down. Don't think they're going to get anything into this area. I think they'll make it through anytime soon, I wouldn't have thought. Too many players covering that off. Lorowax has actually just been laying here for a long time. Is he just AFK? No, he's not. But he's been crawling this field for the longest time. I didn't call him out, but at some point, surely he'll move. Although, interestingly, Delru here is actually looking towards him. I don't know whether he knows something we don't, whether he's got some of those sneaky little tools that'll let you see through those bumps, but Korax, having crawled for a good 5 minutes there, does go down to Delru. He does not mess it about at all. Good rocket there from Flexi as well, who takes down one of the players just by this little knot here. But here we go, the front line's finally fallen here for BC. Now let's fill up Zippo's outpost here. Let's fill out Colton John's outpost. Let's get them progressed. Play aggressive. Now you've got this land, you put the outpost in there. I don't think there's anything to lose, because what's the worst that happens is you just have to run back into this zone anyway. And you've not really lost too much. I think just try and get the players in. You could see yourself pretty fruitful here. Executioner Chartreux diving deep into the trench lines as well. Big swarm wave back here. That must be where the garrison is. We'll see if artillery can find that at any stage during this push. But the fact that EC have already progressed basically through the front is not a good sign here for Ark and the remainder, unless they are quick onto Dugout Barn, which I don't think they're going to be. I don't see this being a good time. You can actually see the artillery ping there from Rez. There's not a... well, he's just pinging the middle of the point, basically. It's not fine the garrison just yet. Just basically looking to see where his players go down, I think, and then he'll shell in those zones. Colton John, his outpost didn't make it across into the trench system, which is a real shame. But where did Zippo go? I mean, come on, man. Where's the outpost? Large bomber run comes in. I don't think it does particularly any damage, though. It's all pretty much safe on point as well. And the fact that G4 isn't pinging hot, though F5 is, that's interesting, actually. That is interesting. Executioner didn't dive deep either with his outpost. A little bit too passive for me here from BC. I would have liked to see them just get themselves a little bit further into this point with those outposts. Zippo's in there, though. And he should be able to get 6 players onto the outpost, surely. I would have thought people will be wanting to spawn in, even though it's a little bit of hell in here. Just get yourself into this point, because he is right on the edge of the circle, Eastern being a particularly small cap circle for this map here. But let's take a quick look down here, because I've actually just seen, interestingly, these guys have managed to make themselves feel known here. I don't quite know what they did to get through here, whether it was... a tank helped them push, whether they just crawled the entire way and got a couple of decent trades, but double outposts now up on this corner house, and that's pushed Eagle and Claude back quite a way, but Claude's about to just meet this BC wraparound. C playing very, very well here on Foy. Let's take a quick look down. Claude's going to try and make it across the field. He goes down, though. Not a surprise for me, that one bit is Flexi. Grabs him. Does Flexi see Eager? And he must do. A little bit low from him there. This is the second. Surely you get him there. Up, he goes down anyway. No fuss. Do you still have one outpost up in this forest? Delru should be able to push and find it, I would imagine. As it's just over here by the street. He does manage to find that one. I think that's going to be this forest totally cleaned out, actually. And now they've got this lovely surround on Eastern. And they've got a good wide assault going. I have no idea how this medium tank's managed to get all this way without anything combating it. And the fact that he's just chilling in a forest over there is curious, to say the least. Let me turn my highlights on because we are in a forest. It's not fun to try and see in it. Let's have a look. Maybe this is the right highlight. Let's try and have them more highlighted. There we go. Yep, medium tank just chilling, pushing through this forest. It will be interesting if he does get himself sort of all the way around the outside. He could absolutely snag himself a 76 in the rear, but at the moment, 7 are having to commit. Oh, I don't think they're having to commit. I think they're being forced to commit quite a bit into this forest here. However, Claude should be able to see these supplies dropping. It is through the trees. It can be a little bit difficult, but someone should ping this out. They should know that Leo Barn there is around, and they have found him indeed. Let's go take a quick look at this point, though. Oh, the artillery is pinging right on top of that garrison. That will be dangerous for them. That's not going to be fun, but BC have pushed all the way through this strong point here, and it's just pretty much the additional sector presence from Ark, which is keeping this for right now. But with Noak, Eber and Jim Edward pretty well progressed here. It doesn't look too good. Precision strike coming into the centre. Doesn't kill the 76 in here. This is obviously a huge cap pressure, but he is so exposed here. Executioner goes down. So exposed, and he's got a medium tank pretty much uncontested coming around the rear of him. Either at some stage, we'll take a quick look at the map to check him. Yeah, but you can see he's still just chilling out here. But I mean, we've got Poilo Barn chilling in Boyshakers, because this point is going to fall at some stage. This garrison's massive. The fact that they've been able to get this one up is just going to allow them to feed players inconsistently. Oh, I love this from BC. Look, just put themselves a little bit of defences up. Just allows them to spawn pretty well in here. Pretty much uncontested. Gives them just a little bit of ground in which to do so. Cope's got himself into a decent spot. He does need to try and make some decent trades, so I don't know whether he'll be able to, just being a little solo boy back here. And it looks like Epic is using an AT gun as cover. This point is surely going to fall. The artillery is dropping close to this garrison, so if they want to drop any more squad leaders in, it is not looking good for them. With just 30 minutes into this game, I'm amazed that Ark have let them in through the front door here. But BC playing very, very well. Full spawn wave comes in onto Heber's outpost. They need the artillery to do some work here. Absolutely desperate for it. I don't know, where's the artillery from BC? No idea. No idea where it is. Tro goes down there. Yo, surely they're going to get the artillery dropping. We see the ping. See some big spawn waves come off on this, but at the moment it does look like BC not too interested in pushing. They're just going to try and stay alive within this point. There we go. They've timed their movement there. Big explosion coming in just down there. Oh, please, where's the artillery? Artillery, please. Artillery. You had it marked. You just pinged it. Surely something. A rocket. Anything. You know that's where they're coming from. You've got it. There you go. Big artillery hit comes in there. Takes down quite a few. Big satchel goes off as well. Clears out a lot of the remaining ones. Just Peeves left. Artillery is going to have an absolute field day on the next spawn wave, if there is one. XCDS in there with his outpost. He goes down. The outpost obviously will stay post cap, but I don't think they're going to be able to do too much. BC here have got this point on lock, and they cap Easton. And Easton is disgusting to try and recap, but in fairly unsurprising news, there was a little bit of cap pressure, but look at the spawn back. Not messing about here. 3 or 4 squad leaders spawn back in along with infantry. The reset is not good from 7. They were not prepped for this cap at all. Fortunate for them, the artillery not letting them spawn in, and this is going to give and Ark a real headache to try and recap this. I'm seeing so few tanks on the field. It's surprising to me. Double Tigers moving up now from BC here, but a massive garrison here. Great flanking garrison. It's so close to boys, despite being green. That's going to give them good feed into it. They've even got decent wide control over Eastern as well. They just need the garrisons to be prepped a little bit better. I don't quite know why they haven't had one built in F6 yet. That would have been one you build on route, I would imagine. That's something, you know, I'm no expert, but these guys are being just a free push. It's just a free push across an open field here. Where is Ark? I mean, seriously, what are you doing? Not having anyone sort of prepped for this. They just got themselves a garrison spawn wave in here. They did not look like they were prepped for the cap, but it was pretty clear, to be honest with you. For a long time, that point was going to fall. I mean, artillery's pinging an open field, but there's no one within 50 meters of it. And this 76 is now... oh! Fuck Snappy, you're right. I did get the logos wrong. You are quite correct. Let's take a look. Shuffle these across. I was expecting to be on the Ark side, but because I was late. Yeah. Let's fix this. Goes. There we go. Right, back into the fight now. Okay, they finally come up to meet BC in the middle here. Shinali's got himself up into the house. So we've got R and a whole bunch of numbers to protect this tank. This tank's not going to be too comfortable with this, though, I don't think. I mean, Nasbrock's made ungodly amounts of ground for no real reason. He killed by his own tank. I actually don't know if he does, but Nasbrock's going to get the mark on the tank here. Double Tiger up in the backfield as well should give them a little bit of hope that they can start pushing through. They've even got the AT gun built up in the background. Let's take a look over at boys, because while that garrison's gone down, the outpost is still up and the pressure's still there, able to get one full squad into the background. The Guet here is still... Well, he goes down, but his outpost is still good. They should be able to keep this alive in this forest. It's pretty hard to root them out of this area. Let's go take a quick fly across this front, though. As Ark are trying to just make themselves around the outside here. But they've got good control into this forest. They got themselves a garrison. They still haven't built this garrison in F6. It's going to bother me until they do, really. But they've got some good pressure. They should be able to now come take... I think this point's called Forest Outskirts. Should be able to take it at some stage anyway. Because they are pushing it in from two sides. Colt and John now making his way through. Shinali and are still holding him up here. See where the 76 has got himself to. I think he's backed himself off a little bit. They should be able to hold them back. They need to put more players into this, though, because if they lose this area, so again, it's another area that's just impossible to try and take back. They can fight back from their HQ zone, of course, but really don't want to get caught up here too much. Yeah, indeed, that 76 is just back a little bit there. But a lot of forest fighting here, which is not fun to try and cast in. Trying to get down low at all. But they've got so many players back at boys. They really are struggling here. Just to hold back. But this is why they needed this F6 garrison here, because these guys in the forest could get flanked a little bit. Claude, if he makes it across, he's going to get himself into a good zone. Stefro's in a decent location, though, to cover that off as one of those defensive squad leaders. Let's take a look at the map. I actually only see one Tiger up. Let's go take a look at this, actually. An interesting spot out here. Go take a look as I zoom across. As he peek in here. He doesn't have anywhere to back up into, though. Still vulnerable to 76 fire here. I don't know whether that rep station is just not in the right place for them, whether this was a bit of an ad hoc plan. I think they're trying to figure out their retreat angle here. As the driver just basically smashes himself up against everything. But they can't push, really. There's no need to push. The infantry's doing a good enough job as is. Just wait until you've got a couple of heavies up, and then you can move those target tanks forward. Taking a look in the background, though, looks like the 76 still is about. There's some explosions nearby, whether it's just misfire, whether the AT gun that they have just below us could be against them. I don't think. Let's take a look at this angle. Got the mark on him. Would it be able to hit? I don't know, but he's in a great spot. I think it would, actually, you know. You should go over the top of that. They choose to, but I think they're going to. I think they're going to keep it up this road. Just for now. Is that a medic? Medic! Oh. Love to see the medic. I don't love that smoke grenade, though. Yeah, that first smoke grenade, not the one. The second one, much better. Chuck the smoke grenades away from your outpost so, you know, you can see, but they can't. Don't chuck it on top of yourself, but Forest fighting here around, boys. Not looking good. Let's take a quick look at the map. The squad still has a bow. They could go get this garrison up if they wanted to here. And an easy squad's even actually coming to get himself involved as well. Let's take a look at this back line, actually, because we can see both the recon outposts back here. Both are warm. But Ewer, Burrs out. Look how close they can be with each other. In the forest. Takes Burrs out almost to be on top of his outpost to be able to find it there. And Poyle does go down. As Modk does manage to take down Burrs out. But you are here. Be able to clean up the other outpost as well in the background. And which is just up here actually. By is it just north of Delru here. So they should be able to clear this out. NBA though, I mean, again, almost basically on top of Puick. Spawned in. Has no idea. Can't speak French, so I have no idea. No idea what they're saying. But he goes down. That outpost is going to live to see another day. You need to get some reinforcements in. I think they absolutely could go get themselves sort of a blue line garrison somewhere up here. Wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. Easy Squad builds one just a little bit back. They finally, well, they've got one in F7, which is good enough. That's going to stop a lot of this flanking maneuver here. Through this zone. Again, just don't see how Ark are going to come out of this if they're defending with this many players around, boys, up against so few. They're just going to cede ground across the map. Don't see how they're going to come back from this. Oh, here we go. Good outpost back here. Whether it's gone down, though, because I don't... Oh, it's a garrison. Okay. Fair play to Ark. Decent garrison. It's been marked, though. Archerist there. Probably just staying alive there just to ensure his body can be mucked. And that should allow them to get just a little bit of a wider push around. Oh. I just had a knock on my door, so the dog's gone mental. It's okay, that's going to be dealt with. Not by me, luckily. He's only a small dog. He does like to make himself known, though. But we can see we've got a wide flank, but they should be covered off by an MG. Lanku, maybe even, could be the one. He's going to get this wider flank on here. Going to get the angle. He's been damaged already. That's good prep work from PKA just to ensure that doesn't happen. But he's not going to be not going to survive too long up there. He needs to get himself a bit of a further back MG angle if that's going to come of any use. Being that close to the action as an MG is never a good time, and the artillery now is actually dropping down. And it's the garrison down here. It is. They've got artillery dropping onto that garrison, which is very, very nice indeed. That's going to help them out. Let's take a quick look at the map just to see what they see. One heavy tank coming up through this zone as well towards boys. One heavy tank starting to push as well onto this eastern side. Have they dealt with the other 76 though? They haven't dealt with this one just yet. I think that's probably why they're pushing their heavy tank forward to try and get rid of it. Is this Tiger going to peak or not? That's the real question. Is the mark accurate on them? Obviously, unfortunately, don't get to see the marks, but should be an angle that they can hit him through here. Should just be able to catch the side of the 76. Of course, if they do receive just one hit, they'll back straight off. There'll be no fuss. Oh, the 76 pushes. Tiger doesn't have an angle on him. 76 pushes just as he peaks. That's just going to give him just a little bit of time alive, I think. Yeah, no, I don't know where. Yeah, do they not have, like, armor crews? Do they not have capable armor players? I don't understand. Really only seen just sort of 1 or 2 tanks up at any given moment throughout this game here. Again, with this depth and numbers that BC have in this zone, these players are just, they're not going to be successful. They're not going to be able to, push them out. Eastern spawn wave comes in here, but that's a garrison spawn wave, not outposts. So you can see, if you've got so many players spawning on these garrisons, never going to be a good time. It just shows how far back you're being pushed, because you kind of have to play how these guys are, peeking tree to tree, moving slowly through these zones. Monasterio, Egron, and Orion there, really just going to kind of get caught out by this garrison and pretty much just leave a breadcrumb trail to them. Especially someone like Orion, who's MG right next to it. They're going to know exactly where he is sort of in any moment now. Spix likely should be able to pick him off at some stage soon. Come out of the trees though, because no one likes being down that low. There you go. Orion goes down as well. Told you he'd get picked off. He's just going to leave that breadcrumb trail to the garrison, and it's yet more room that they're going to lose. Big explosion out here though. Come down. Wasn't the heavy tank, was it? Nope, just a little recon boy. Goes down as he was diving about the joint. But I think finally, Ark have been able to push them out of boys cap. Wasn't even cap sector really. Been able to push them out of boys successfully. Now, no one within the cap sector, but they don't seem to commit anyone else onto the front lines. I see this garrison's pinging hot here in H6. That should really be good enough for them to bring some pressure up. He goes down. That's all the pressure gone. Hopefully that'll turn a few players around, but I don't know if it'll pull anyone off this front line from BC. But they don't need this many players out here. It's an look at what they have to cross. Surely you could cover this with just 2 MGs, MG and an SL or something. Really don't need this many players, and this is, I think, one of the downfalls for Ark in this season, or this is the second time that I've seen them. They don't commit bodies into the right zones. There's no need to have this many players out here. Yeah, sure, great. You're getting this wide map control. Absolutely crucial to control out here. But you can control it by just firing into it. I don't need much out here. Hell, even, you know, like an AT gun or like a recon or a light tank. I know they're running this Tiger up, but I don't think they necessarily know that Tiger's going to be out there. But they're just not gonna control enough of this map, and they're losing ground steadily over time on this eastern side as well. It is Foy. It does take a long time to grind through, but you know, it seems pretty inevitable here that BC will break through at some stage. We'll go check out Dugout Barn, Eastern Author, as we did see that garrison ping hot for just a second. Doesn't look like there's anything going on back here though. It's just a recon squad. And they're not really even dragging any players back towards them. So Eastern is totally safe for now. Recon squad is nothing to worry about. Nothing bust by. But when you've got squad leaders trying to cross open fields like this, Someone's going to catch Mr. Gora at some point during the open field push, I would imagine. Not going to make it the entire. Even if he does try and crawl it. Crawling these guys. Really just in random zones as well. Big explosion goes down there. And I think that's an AT gun just going down. Explosion out on the side as well. Been kind of dragged around by the explosions at this point. Is this a little light tank? Could be Stuart Boy. What we got? Oh no, it's a medium they sent out here. That's a real shame. I don't think they're expecting a Tiger out here, which is just off into the distance somewhere out this way. At the moment, but at the moment, they've managed to wipe BC from this area. Still committing players out here though. So the fact that look, just don't need this many bodies. You've taken the ground. Let them be out here. They're not going to cross, and just commit some more bodies into this forest, because this forest is here for the taking. It's going to be possible to push them back, but now we've got close-up fighting within this little town area. I think BC, they're just reinforcing this area so much quicker. PKKA ARC are. I don't see them really being able to hold this for too long, as artillery's even now starting to drop back here. Bombing run lands. That's going to be an ARC bombing run. Oh, it was actually a BC bombing run, which is interesting. Didn't expect that to be much out here. I think they were maybe just trying to take down the just take down whatever garrison they had marked. But now, again, bombing runs have this kind of effect where players tend to charge in afterwards, and they're now going to go take a load of ground. I mean, look at Nikolai. He does not stand much of a chance. If I kind of angle it here, look at these two players. Bless them. Fending off the French horde coming through the forest here. But, I mean, they are grabbing so much land now. I think the fact that they've been able to take this town area, it's hard to hold because you do have this HQ spawn that you end with. Do you sort of pin them back? Do you put players into it? Just a bit, keep it locked down, or do you forget about it and just keep the wave going? And Kuwait's in a great spot though, within this forest. It gets his outpost up. Should be able to feed some players into the rear of boys as well. Might even be able to get themselves into rear of this, try and take back the D9 zone again from ARC, and really put pressure on from a couple of different sides. But I think, luckily, ARC have kind of learned that you don't need as many players out here. They're not covering the full width of the map. They're kind of getting a little bit tunnel vision. Big Matt is actually going to probably take this all the way to the HQ spawn. He looks to go through this western side of the map. "40 minutes into this, and I didn't expect to see a team sort of pen back in into their final point on a Foy game. That does surprise me. As we see Sexy here his way through the forest again. Another squad leader in a great location. Going to be able to put a lot of pressure onto ARC and boys. Is he ever gonna get... He tries to set up the perfect shot and Phil just moves. Phil, buddy, what is going on? You guys are like the slowest players. Sees the grenade coming. He's got a... See, I don't think they've got an idea that Sexy's even this far up. And it's hilarious. There you go. He spotted him. He finds him. Hopefully he's got his outpost up though nearby. Like he does, is back here. But look at the BC wave coming through now. They are going to commit some players, I think, into defending this HQ zone, mainly because PKKA and 7 are still spawning players back here into this HQ zone. But I mean, it's not looking good. Not looking good. That's mid HQ there. Players spawning into it. This is right HQ. Players being forced to spawn into it. It is a difficult one for these guys. How do you break out of this when you're being like, basically you're playing an 18v18 down here, you know, and they've just been boxed out. What do you do? How do you break out of being boxed in? This is where those tournaments come in useful, really, to give you those sort of smaller fight experience. But I think luckily for BC, the point is, boys, and on artillery, you can pretty much fire into the hard cap, basically. You know, when the deviation takes you, so they're going to be able to shell the edge of this forest line pretty effectively, and that's really kind of how players like Zippo and Chartreux have managed to make their way up. Will Lacar spot him? I don't know. Oh, surely. There you go, he does. But there you go, as I said, artillery able to really soften up the edge of this forest and allow you to get those pushes going. Because you are able to just fire so deep into it. Uncle Mamat, please tell me. Hang on, what? He's running the other way. What is he doing? Did he just been given a call that there's players behind? Oh yeah, look at that. He's actually, I don't know how he's managed to get here. Pinging a 76, takes down Katzler. How has he got here? I have no idea. But Big Matt still making his way round. Just a quick look at the map, see where he's got himself to. Again, just have a little garrison up here. That'll be fine. That'll be a good play. I'm baffled by Uncle Mamat here, because the squad leader is out here. And how he's ended up in this zone, I have no idea. Quite spectacular, really. Big campaign coming over the top. King squad's got themselves pretty much between the points. I mean, this garrison. Gonna build it? I don't know. I kind of hope he does, because I want to see if it ever comes live. Just be kind of funny. But whether it does or not, I don't know. Looks like Sariga here. Close enough to actually keep it permanently locked, but I mean, Hegron and Claude spawning back at mid-HQ now. Is not looking good for Ark here. There's only one direction it goes. In fact, actually, Gouet here could basically just walk himself into boys. Be absolutely fine and be totally free to go. I don't think anyone's going to stop him here. Run in if he wants to. That'd be interesting just to see if they take down one of these garrisons. They're basically locked into the HQ. I can't believe this garrison's live. What the? How is this garrison live? Look, the artillery's just out of range, I understand, but there's a no one. There's a no one locking this. Not a single person sort of here. That makes no sense to me. I don't know. There you go. It's finally just locked there. As I think one player spawns into mid-HQ, but they're going to lock this. He spawned down now, I think. There's one player with a name I can't pronounce. And goes down. Manrus is down here as well. Laying down in the forest. Even he goes down. And that's going to give them the garrison location back. And as they've got players into the strong point, they're actually now even started a cap. We see players spawning on the outskirts of boys. They're going to need to be able to push back in. Whether they do or not, I don't know. But right now, they are just flooding through that garrison, being absolutely. I can't believe it worked. Quite frankly, this is no good. You can't ever let this garrison go live between final point and HQ when it's that close. I don't know, Chief. I don't know. But right now, I mean, PKK, if they've got any sort of decent garrison, they'll be able to come back from this and defend for just a little bit of time. But it doesn't look like they're going to. Nasbrook, he's being clever. He's turning out to this west side. Gonna try and find a different angle to come through with. Maxensis exactly the same. Should be able to cut off some of these players. I can't believe this is going to end, though. Honestly can't believe this is how it's going to end, with possibly the greatest garrison I've ever seen, because that's got no right, and this point is now totally surrounded. They've pushed through the front door twice pretty successfully. Obviously they capped Easton by coming through the front, and they've got players through the front door of boys as well now. Ark just gave up so much ground, and then to get this garrison being live and the ability to be spawned on is no good, and with that airhead dropping in, it's going to be defended. This is pretty much going to be G here. I don't see, and yeah, there's no chance, and it's going to be goodbye to Ark, and it's a shame they've not played well this tournament. Unfortunately for them, this is twice I've casted them now. We saw them versus Alpha, where they got rolled pretty quick, and now to lose losing 58 minutes versus BC on Boy, again, not ideal. It's not a good tournament for them, but hopefully they can come back stronger for the next one as the Russian Alliance. Quick scroll down. Take a look at some of these scores. No one particularly stands out to me, actually. Petit, McLean and Matt's there doing a great job. Plenty of scores there. Let's take a look at Tank Squad's not too good with the scores either. All important XP. Look at this. Scroll down. Yeah, the tank score's really not looking ideal, but Sarega, 1,000 score on the artillery is massive. After just an hour, that's a really good score from them, and best tank crew. I mean, 1,800 after 60 minutes, that's not too bad. That's respectable. I'll accept that onto a decent tank game there. But I mean, to have 4 tank crews, but we just did not see too many of them in this game. So, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed this one, and we'll be back again for some. I hope there's going to be less and less games going on in the next couple of weeks as some of the groups sort of come to a close. But this is goodbye to Ark, and BC go through for another knockout game for them. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you all have a good rest of your evening, and take care.